What's going on, people?
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another review stream for you guys. Obviously, we beat Bournemouth 3-2 in a crazy game at the Vitality yesterday. And you know what? First half again, same old problems. Very poor defensively. I thought Kiefer Moore was bullying Emerson Royale, bullying our defence. But again, second half, we come out with a point to prove. Yeah, I know they scored at the beginning of the second half, but the stats show it out as well. I mean, we were so much the better side. We were so dominant in that second half. But let's start off from the beginning. What went wrong for you in that first half? Again?
It wasn't a case of we were... that Bournemouth were that much better than us in the first half. It was just a case of we were looking really, again... too slow on the ball, too ponderous, weren't really creating anything. And it wasn't like Bournemouth had loads of chances. They had the early chance literally in the first couple minutes from a corner through Kiefer Moore. And
again,
then
he bullied Emerson.
Yeah, that was from a corner. And then
when he hit the bar, yeah.
Yeah, it was no. Did it? Oh, it was on the top of the net. Hit the top of the net.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Tavernier had a chance very soon after that. He broke clear down the right hand side, cut inside, had a shot which Lloris comfortably saved, and then it was kind of even up until they got a breakaway. Really well worked counter attack, but still really poor defending. Solanke holds off Longley too easily for me. Tavernier gets a run on Ben Davis, gets breaking down the right. I think Sanchez panics a bit. I think he feels like Tavernier is getting away from Davis, and he leaves Kiefer Moore to try and deal with the situation. I think he completely panicked in that situation. Sanchez should have just held his position, tracked Kiefer Moore, and either backed Lloris would make the save or Davis would catch up to Tavernier. He didn't. He goes over. Tavernier's smart enough to realise Sanchez has gone over. He plays the ball early to Moore. Moore's completely free and makes it 1-0. I think it's shocking defending all round, but I think Sanchez could have alleviated the situation by just making sure Moore was completely free. Didn't do that. So 1-0 down early. And they had some chances, and then obviously once they're 1-0 down, we did obviously slightly get back in the game. We hit the post for Son crossed it in. We hit the post. Yeah, Son has would have been an own goal. Son has a Ollie skip. Has a shot on target for a well-worked chance down in the penalty area. Son, I think, on the stroke of half time, had a shot from outside the box which was saved by the keeper. So we slightly got back into it, but we weren't really hurting them too much. We were just again being ponderous. There was a severe lack of quality in the final third. Bournemouth were finding it way too easy to defend against us. But we did kind of stop the chance creation from Bournemouth side in the second half of the first half. But from our side, just not good enough on the ball. And apparently, reading today, Conte was seen on the touchline screaming at Longley and Sanchez to play the ball quicker and with better accuracy on the touchline. And especially Sanchez, I just thought he was so poor. I thought he was really poor throughout the game, and I was really disappointed in it.
With him and Emerson, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't just him, but I was just so like defensively and on the ball, he was just all over the place, and he was really disappointing. Emerson had a lack of quality. Ollie's skip was pretty much. If we can bring up the phone for 1 sec, I'll show you what I mean.
As a right winger.
Yeah, and look at this on the phone. You can see here number 4. If you see the top right, that's number 4. That's Ollie Skip, literally playing as a right winger. Son is is a striker up front. He's pretty much the furthest play forward. It's Harry Kane just a bit in behind. But look at the freedom Ollie Skip had to go forward on that right hand side. Very similar to the last game as well, where he started. I can't remember which game he started, but the last game he started as well. Newcastle at home. All very similar position. He was. I don't know where. It must be a Conte instruction, because he always keeps finding himself in his position. And it's good and bad. The good thing is, he's given a bit license to break forward into the space, and we have a player who's willing to attack the space and try and exploit it. However, when he gets to those positions, he's not doing much, and that's the reality. He had one shot. He was trying. It's not like his fault totally, but there was if you're going to have a player in those positions finding those spaces, you want a player who's got more attacking ability than Ollie Skip. That's the reality. Although I commend Skip for continually trying to make something happen in those spaces. So I'm not unhappy with him. I'm just unhappy with the fact that he's the one we're relying on in those situations to
Who
find
would you rather rely on those spaces?
An attacking player.
Like
Lucas or Gil.
Yeah, neither of them were on the pitch at the time.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand why play 3-5-2 with them on the with them on the bench, and why play with Ollie skipping that role when he's pretty much like a de facto right winger. You might as well have started Gil or Lucas. That's my point.
Yeah, I get that. And but Conte saw those issues at halftime, changes it at halftime. Skip goes off the pitch. Obviously, they score very early on in that second half, which was more poor defending. Emerson getting bullied once again. But after that, we get a goal back, and it was completely super control from Spurs. Bentancur comes on, and as soon as Bentancur comes on as well, like, the game completely flipped, and we were so dominant. The amount of shots we had, the amount of possession we had. I mean, Bournemouth couldn't get out of their own half pretty much for the last half an hour, 35 minutes. And I mean, Bentancur, he is turning into a serious player. He really is. I mean, we all said it last season, how we want to see him take more initiative on the pitch. We want to see him dominate those areas a bit more, not just play those backwards and sideways passes and keep the ball ticking. He's actually looking on the pitch with proper authority. He grabbed that game by the scruff of the neck by himself yesterday and drove the team forward. The amount of times he was driving forward, playing those lovely crossfield passes as well. I mean, I thought he was absolutely sensational when he came on yesterday, Bentancur.
It was funny because I think his first touch was actually like a sloppy pass out of play when he tried to find Perisic, but he kind of learned from that, and it was a really imposing display. And you don't associate Bentancur, well, we haven't anyway at Tottenham, with someone who could come on and dictate a game like that. But he did such a marvelous job in setting the tone for our attacks, speeding play up when need be, and slowing it down when maybe we were too panicked and stuff like that. So I thought he was brilliant. Obviously, he got the winning goal as well at the end. And to be fair, look at the composure it took to get that winning goal. With so many, he just had a header pretty much cleared off the line. And if you do a freeze frame of when he strikes the ball, there are about a sea of players ahead of him, and he somehow gets it right into the top of the net. That was the only place really he could have placed it, and he doesn't swing at it like other players in that situation probably snatch at that situation, just put your foot through it, but he calmly side foots it into the roof of the net, and that's the kind of finish we needed at the time.
It's also the kind of player he is. I mean, even in the edge of our box, the ball will come to him under pressure and he'll just silkily move out of it with a lovely little turn or something. I mean, he's not one to really panic under pressure, is he? He always looks like he's got time whenever on the pitch, wherever he is. Yeah,
and it was absolutely fantastic. In terms of the second half, it was funny because Sessegnon, Perisic, Dyer and Bentancur were all stripped off, ready to come on, literally just before the first goal. And then Højbjerg plays a lovely through ball into Sessegnon. He gets a run on the left back, on the right back. He gets a really good finish, and then he decides to keep Sessegnon on. He was literally about to take him off. I think that goal gave him a reprieve. It was a really good finish, and we want to see Sessegnon doing more of that. He's really good. He could be really good when he gets in those situations, but he doesn't get beyond the wing back enough and makes those kind of runs. But to be fair, brilliant pick out by Højbjerg, who we've mentioned before, is getting more goal contributions again. 7 goal contributions now this season, and it was a brilliant finish. It was a brilliant pass, and it was actually a really difficult pass to get it through about 3 or 4 players. It was really impressive by Højbjerg to get that through ball.
Yeah, it completely was, and the finish from Sessegnon was even better. But what I was more impressed with Sessegnon actually is when he moved over to that right-hand side. I thought he did miles better than Emerson did all game, miles better than probably what Emerson has showed all season. And I was really happy with Sessegnon at right wing-back. Do you think that's maybe something that we should be looking at in the coming weeks now?
Well, playing Sessegnon on the right and Perisic on the left, maybe. He's obviously tried to test it on the left and Perisic on the right. It wasn't like it didn't do brilliantly, but maybe that's something you can look at. I think Sessegnon's always been okay on the right. I think he did well when he for his spell, which he did. Obviously, he did get taken off later in the game. I wouldn't get too excited about it, but I think he did do well on the right hand side.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like he's got massive competition that are really playing well at the moment. I mean, Emerson, I thought, was shocking yesterday. Doherty, did he even get on the pitch? Maybe really late on. No, he didn't get on the pitch. Did he, Doherty? Yesterday?
No, he didn't. Lucas went wing back. Lucas went wing back, and Gil came on, didn't he?
Even Doherty, since like those 1 or 2 games, he's had a few poor showings now since then. And I mean, what have we got to lose by giving it a go? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I mean, it depends if that's what Conte thinks is best for the team. I think Doherty, he played really. I remember against Everton, he played really well in that game. So if he can keep up that kind of level performance, I'd still want to see Doherty there. But Sessegnon did all right, to be fair. Got to give him credit where credit's due. He had a good game on the right side.
What do you think of Longley in that central role yesterday? Because I actually quite liked it. I mean, obviously he got caught out for one of the goals, but apart from that, I thought second half it looked really good. And when Dyer came on the right, I thought it worked actually really well.
Yeah, I think it worked well, but I don't think he either he didn't show it, or I don't know what it was, but he didn't kind of have the range of passing Dyer can show in that position for me. Also, I think aerially, I don't think he was as dominant as Dyer can be in those situations. But I liked the way he was controlling our passing moves from that position, and I think actually he was pretty composed, and I think he showed he can definitely do the role. And after that early maybe mistake when they got the first goal, I wouldn't still call it a mistake, but didn't do great for that first goal. I think he learned from that and was actually pretty aggressive, especially in that second half. So I was happy with him, but I still think Dyer for me is better in that position from what I've seen. But Dyer did well when he came on the wide centre back, and obviously nearly created a chance for Son. I think he just helped calm things down. We were kind of all over the place a bit at the back, and once Dyer came on, there was a bit of calmness about us, and I don't think we conceded another chance after that.
No, we didn't. I mean, the whole game after that, the last half an hour, because Sessegnon scored in the 57th minute. We made those changes as soon as Sessegnon scored. Dyer came on, Bentancur comes on, and after that it was just literally just Spurs trying to push for a goal. The stats just speak for itself, don't they, in that second half, to be honest. I mean, 18 shots on goal, 5 shots
bring
on
them
target.
up on the phone.
7 off target, 6 block shots, 73% possession. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the second half. We were all over them. Look at 76. Yeah, as you said, 76% possession. Again, very similar to what we were saying in Sporting. A lot of possession, but also creating chances and actually having good shots as well. 2 big chances created as well. 12 corner kicks, and that's obviously where we were looking the most dangerous from the corners, which we'll get onto in a minute. But absolutely fantastic stuff from Spurs in the second half. We were all over Bournemouth, and although obviously we were all over them, and obviously we struggled we had to wait, to the last minute to get the winner. But I think it was deserved again. But it's just a shame. It was very, very nearly another case like Lisbon, where late rally and deservedly take the lead, but it could have also been very different. It could have ended 2-2 very easily.
We can't keep doing this. We can't keep having these first half performances where we just don't look creative enough. We look too slow. We look lackluster. We look tired, and then somehow something just clicks in that second half, and we just go all guns blazing. But you know, it's going to catch us out, and it has caught us out, and it's going to keep catching us out. We need to start playing like this, like from the start of the games, and put the games to bed, and then we can start resting and closing out the games in the second half.
Yeah, I'm not really. Obviously, I don't think it's a plan. I don't know why it keeps ending up like this, where we seem to start games slowly and then come into it later on. I'm not really sure what the case is. Is it a case of us being too pragmatic, and then once we are down, we have no other option but to kind of go for it, and that leads to a bit of risk taking, and then we can kind of show off what how we can hound teams and press them. Maybe that's the case. I'm not. It's difficult to put your finger on.
Yeah, I saw a quote from Conte yesterday talking about the first half performances, and he was saying this: the players need to implement in the first half what we practice on the training pitch every game, and we need to attack more. We don't need to be so defensive and pragmatic, is what I heard him say. So it's clearly not a plan. So why can't they follow out Conte's instructions from the beginning? It
was interesting to hear because Conte also said he was happy with the first half.
Was he?
He said, like, as in, I don't know if he meant with the performance, but like he said, looking at the first half, I was still happy that we had good chances to win or something like that. Like he still, I think he kind of meant like he still felt like we had the opportunity to win this game, even though the first half we were 1-0 down, and obviously we did concede the second, but. I don't know. I don't know why it keeps ending up like this, where we're. It's just very strange. how we keep ending up in a situation where we're needing goals late on. To be fair, we at the moment, like we sometimes we do get them, but it's difficult to put your finger on why we let games get to a stage where we're always behind a lot of the time, and we need to stop that from happening. Maybe it's a case that we're going to keep doing it until after the World Cup, then we can sort it out once we get a bit of a breather. But right now, games are just coming so thick and fast. It's hard to take a breath at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. But, you know, after those subs, Perisic comes on as well with half an hour to go. 10 minutes later, he gets a corner. Lovely floated ball in. Ben Davies at the back post rises above everyone and puts it into the net. Brilliant from Ben Davies. Brilliant leap from Ben Davies, first of all. But I thought he was... He was, one of the culprits of one of the goals in the first half for Ben Davies. So I was happy for him to get on the score sheet because I think he needed that.
Yeah, he hasn't been great past few weeks, but I think he did all right in the end, Ben Davies. And for him to win a header as well. And there was also not just that. I think they were targeting him a lot of the time, like from goal kicks. They kept sticking Kiefer Moore on him. And second half, he actually stood up to it. And there was a few times where he was beating Kiefer Moore in the air. And I was like, oh, fair play, Ben Davies, because we all know, aerially, he's not the tallest guy, so he's always going to be targeted, but fair play to him. And then he goes and scores a header himself. So he did really step up in that second half, Ben Davies, and fair play to him. He did really well and got on a very important goal.
Now that's two set piece goals yesterday, corners. I mean, I think we're the highest set piece scoring team in the Premier League.
9 this season now,
which is unbelievable to think about. I mean, Gianni Vio has come in and completely changed things for us, hasn't he? From corners and set pieces. We're a threat in every single set piece. I know we had 19 yesterday, but you know what I mean? We're a threat at a lot of set pieces, and Perisic is obviously a big part of that. And Sonny as well. One of them, the last one from Bentancur, comes from a Sonny corner.
Yeah, Sonny gets a lot of shit for some of his corners because some of them don't beat the first man. But I actually think when he gets them right, he actually gets really good whip on it, and it's really hard to defend against.
What's good about Sonny is his free kicks, like the ones that he needs to like whip
cross
in
it,
and
very
you
good
know,
at them.
yeah.
Yeah, he gets really good whip on it, and a lot of the time is good accuracy as well. Gets into a really good area, so I think Son deserves more credit for those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, I think our corners, we've become the most dangerous team from corners, and I think a lot of it is not just Vio, which obviously is a massive part of it, and he obviously makes up the bulk of the different routines we do and stuff like that. But I just think the fact that Conte has built the team to be very strong in the sense that if you look at all of our players, I think all of them, maybe apart from maybe Ben Davies, I think they're all 6 foot plus, aren't they? And very strong guys.
Yeah.
Like you look at all our midfielders, Højbjerg and Bentancur, 6 foot plus. Basuma, I know he was on the pitch, but you know we got two strong centre backs.
Wow. What did you make out of his performance yesterday, Basuma? Because I thought again, not great from him.
I thought he was okay, but I didn't think he was fantastic.
We're just not seeing the attributes that we saw in a Brighton shirt, are we?
Yeah, I think he's. I don't know whether it's a confidence thing or instruction thing, but he just isn't getting He isn't making sure that when he gets the ball, he's kind of charging up the pitch and doing those dribbles and maybe being a bit more progressive like he was at Brighton. I think it's just still adjusting, but at the moment, he still hasn't hit those peak performances we saw at Brighton, and maybe it's just a case of him still learning the role and learning his teammates and stuff like that. And also, you got to remember, Brighton, he played in a team who was a lot more possession-based than maybe we are, so maybe that has an effect and an adjustment period. But I don't think he was terrible, but it was just kind want. And that's not what we want.
That's what it's always like that we've seen with him.
Yeah, and it's just like...
not
great, not awful either. It's just average.
He's looked good in times, like when he's come off the bench, we've moved to a 3-5-2 and stuff like that. But whenever he started games, he's flattered to deceive more times than not, hasn't he?
Yeah, I want to see that Basuma, who was taking games by the scruff of the neck like he was at Brighton.
Do you think that maybe we're missing a trick with Ollie Skip and Basuma, where maybe Basuma should be the one that's more of the advanced player and Skip should be the one holding back a little bit more? I
don't know, because that's what, when Basuma was at Brighton, he was the player in the middle, like kind of being like a deep lying playmaker. So I don't know if Basuma, he's the one to charge forward and stuff like that. Whether Skip's right for that role is another question, but I wouldn't necessarily say Basuma is the answer there for me. I don't know. Do you think he is?
I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if it's the answer, but I would like to see it given a go, just to see. You know what I mean? Because we don't know, and I like Ollie Skip. I like him when he charges forward, but obviously he doesn't have that much quality in those areas of the pitch where I felt like Bissouma would probably have a bit more quality about him in those areas.
Potentially, but he's never really been that kind of player, even at Brighton. But Brighton, he played in the similar areas he's playing now. It's not necessarily where he's on the pitch, it's just what he's doing in those areas of the pitch for me that is frustrating me. Not necessarily that he's at Brighton, he was a lot further forward, but like at Brighton, he was getting the ball and he was being very press resistant, and he would get past a couple of players and play players into space. And he's only shown that on occasion at Tottenham. He doesn't really do it consistently. That's my big frustration. Yeah. I didn't think he was terrible though yesterday. It wasn't like he was like a massive liability.
It was just like a standard like 5 or 6 out of 10 pretty much. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
But anyway, the corner comes in the last minute of the game, 93rd minute from Sonny. Bentancur wins the header, comes off the line, comes back to Bentancur. He slots it lovely into the back of the net and Spurs win the game, and the pandemonium in the stands. It was absolutely brilliant there yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was almost like expected because in a way, even though it was in stoppage time, you always kind of felt like that last goal was coming as soon as it went to 2-2. We looked on top, we looked creative, we looked like we were looking like able to create chances and putting them under pressure. It was kind of constant pressure as well, and we were penning them in. The threat of Bournemouth had long gone by the time stoppage time came around. It was always a matter of if either Tottenham were going to win it or not. Bournemouth obviously were battling for a point, and we looked like it was. Sorry, just watching Arsenal look like about to score a second. It looked like it was only a matter of time, and I think it was almost expected. I've never seen, because we scored the goal, and obviously we were delighted, and there were limbs, but it wasn't like those kind of limbs where it was a complete shock. You know what I mean? It was almost like an expected goal in stoppage time, and obviously it was very important, and it showed character, and I think it showed again the character Conte's instilled in this team. I read a stat yesterday. Since Conte's come in, we've scored 4 last-minute winners, which is more than any other team in the Premier League. So fair play to this Conte team. We don't know when we're beaten. We go to the very end, which is very different to maybe in previous regimes.
When you look at, we had that kind of sense of feeling under Pochettino, didn't we? Where we didn't know when we were beaten. We scored a lot of last-minute goals, and the fitness was unbelievably good. Then you went back, you change it to Jose Mourinho. It was complete flip.
Yeah, we'd always concede
in the last minute because the fitness was nowhere near. But you could see the fitness coming back now within this squad, or if it could be even better than it was, albeit the players are a bit older than then. But I think that you got to give credit to the Spurs team to keep plugging away and finding those opportunities in the last minutes of games. But what do you make out of Conte and what's going on right now? All these, I know it's not part of the match review, but I think it's important to talk about the Conte and David Ornstein stuff.
What David Ornstein has said is that he believes that Conte isn't set to sign a contract anytime soon, and he's willing to wait until either near the end of the season or until the summer to make his final decision. Which
does that just keep casting more doubt and more questions? And
you could either look at it that way, or it puts more pressure on the hierarchy to make sure that Conte is going to be back to as sufficiently as he believes he will be. And Conte, as we know, ever since he's been a manager, has always looked to put pressure on the hierarchy wherever he's been. And there were talks that he was set to have contract talks over the World Cup period. That was also from reliable sources like Matt Law. Ornstein now saying he believes if there is going to be a signed contract, it is going to be later in the season. He also added that there is an option for Tottenham to extend the deal from their end, but he believes that whatever happens, it is ultimately going to be Conte's decision. So whether Tottenham have the option or not, Conte obviously is going to have the final say whatever happens. So obviously, if the longer it goes on, it's going to lead to more uncertainty. However, if Tottenham are going well, and if he is going to be, if he is going to be back, there is no reason for him to sign a contract. But obviously, there is always going to be that anxiety the longer it goes on, and the longer it goes on, and especially if Tottenham start to falter and start to wane a bit near the end of the season, that's when we're going to really see a bit of panic and a bit of anxiety. I think right now we're third in the league. going well points-wise in the league. Let's hope for a positive result on Tuesday night, and we'll be into the knockout stages. There's no reason to still be positive. I don't think that update changes too much. The only thing changes is if you were expecting him to sign a contract over the World Cup. I never really expected it. I always expected him to hold his cards close to his chest, and I think that's probably the best way to do it with this hierarchy.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I really hope that the club listen to him, man, because if we don't, I just don't know where we're going to go after that. I really don't. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. In terms of back onto the match, I mean, there's only one candidate for player of the game, isn't there?
Called Rodrigo Bentancur.
Yeah,
he had a brilliant half an hour, and he really is. And what I like about Bentancur is what he's doing, things we've been calling for. It's not necessarily like he's working hard or anything like that, but what he is doing is adding more responsibility to his game and adding more authority to his game. So he's demanding the ball a bit more. He's actually, dribbling, taking players on a bit more. He's finding forward passes, and he's offensively wise, he's taking more responsibility on his own performance. And that's something we've been calling for a lot of the time, because too often he just plays within himself, and he keeps it too simple, and he doesn't have confidence in his own ability. And I think whether it's Conte giving it to him or he's seizing it himself, he seems to be gaining more confidence in himself in those central areas to play his own way. And he's now not just this defensive midfielder like maybe he was at Juventus, who would win the ball, keep it simple, get it to the attacking players, but he's actually taking more responsibility on the ball now. And that's what I love about Rodrigo Bentancur at the moment. And he's looking more positively on the pitch. He's looking forward a bit more. He's taking that responsibility. So I think he's growing into a bit of more of an all-round midfielder, and that's exactly what we need. And that's exactly what Conte wants from his midfielders, I think.
Absolutely, and you've got to give massive credit to Conte for the coaching that he's done on not only him but Højbjerg as well. Both of them had sensational seasons so far, and long may it continue. I just think we need to sprinkle a bit of proper creative player in there, and then we can maybe play the 3-5-2 quite effectively.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the 3-5-2, we're just not getting Son and Kane involved. That's the biggest problem.
Both of them were fairly anonymous yesterday.
I think Son, to be fair, I thought he wasn't as so bad. I thought Kane was a bit more anonymous, although Kane, a lot of the times crosses were directed into him. And what you saw was he didn't win any of the balls in the box with headers, but what he was doing was drawing defenders' attention. He was leaving spaces for a lot of other players, and a lot of the time you saw once the ball was cleared away from Kane, it would fall back to a Tottenham shirt, and that was quite important. But yeah, he wasn't too involved. Other than that, I think
isn't that great for you? I mean, and obviously it's not great for Kane and Son not to be dominant in a game, but for me, I was actually really pleased that we win a game 3-2 after being 2-0 down, and Kane and Son weren't involved in pretty much all the goals.
Yeah, and it's a positive. I think obviously apart from Son took the corner for the last goal, no assists or goals from the other players, and they need to step up in those situations. Obviously it is only Bournemouth, they're going to have tougher tests, but it's very important when Kane and Son are being shackled or are not having the best game, either one or the other, that either the system, like the wing backs, start to contribute, which obviously Sessegnon did, or players step up in big moments like getting goals from corners, getting ahead on things, creating chances from themselves, step up like Bentancur's be doing in the central areas. So yeah, I agree. It's very important that these players step up when our main two players aren't able to, and I think we're starting to see that a bit more recently, which is very, very positive, and we need that to happen because the responsibility and the reliance on Kane and Son is just far too great. Obviously, it's going to be natural, especially with Richarlison and Kulusevski injured. That obviously hurts us, but we need the wing backs and midfielders to be contributing a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I think it was a bit of much of the same yesterday, with a poor first half and a very good second half. So happy that we got the 3 points yesterday, dug deep, got that victory. Rodrigo Bentancur with a sensational display. And we didn't even mention, I know we talked about Perisic's set pieces yesterday, but I thought he had a much improved display as well in general on that left-hand side.
Perisic, yeah. Yeah, he was a big threat for Bournemouth. He was spamming crosses in, and obviously with corners he was looking very dangerous. So I was very happy with his cameo, and that's up to 6 assists now. But 6 assists before November.
Yeah,
so he's probably going to hit 10 assists in all competitions this season. And for a wing back, that's very positive. Obviously, he needs to maybe with his finishing ability, you expect
we just haven't seen that, have we?
We expect a few more, or at least maybe if he can get 5 goals before the end of the season.
I love that. I mean, I haven't seen a good shot from him yet in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah, but we know he has it in him, so that'll come. But he's definitely getting the assists, which is very, very positive. Yeah. I'm very happy with that.
Absolutely. So I think that brings a close to our match review. Obviously 3-2 at the Vitality yesterday. Much needed 3 points back to winning ways in the Premier League. So big up to the team yesterday for digging deep and getting those 3 points. Now, in a second, we'll move on and speak to our callers. But before that, we've got a couple of super chats to get through. First one from Jaden saying, I'd rather see Tanganga ahead of Sanchez, Levy out.
You know what? At this point, I mean, given Sanchez yesterday, I'm not even that unhappy with that suggestion. Like, Sanchez right now is really frustrating me. And I think he's making, like, basic mistakes. And like... Last season, the annoying thing is when he stepped in, he did well, and I was really happy with him, and I was happy for him to be cover at centre-back. But whether it's just a case of him not getting regular games or a loss of confidence or whatnot, but this season when he stepped in, he just hasn't been good, and he's cost us quite badly. So if Tanganga's fit and Conte thinks... because I think he's slightly better than Sanchez on the ball, although he's still not fantastic. I think he's slightly better, and he might be better in the wide centre-back role.
Tanganga actually was when he stepped in last season.
Yeah, but maybe just give him a chance, to redeem himself. Just because you're poor at one point doesn't mean you're always going to be poor. Just like because Sanchez was good when he stepped in, doesn't mean he's always going to be good. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, Sanchez ain't obviously playing well at the moment.
No, when he's stepping in, he's just weak.
We just need better centre-backs. We just need to buy a dip into the market, whether it be hopefully in January, by the summer. We definitely need to bring in at least 2 more centre-backs.
And the biggest difference, especially obviously on the ball, there's a massive difference. But that one moment where I talked about Dyer, what Dyer did when he set up that chance for Son, the overlapping bit, got to the byline and overlapped, created a good ball for Son, who nearly scored. Did Sanchez do that once? Not once did he do that throughout the whole game. And that makes a difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. Next up, we got Richard with the super chat saying, I'm done with the 3-5-2 experiment. Performances in that formation have been awful. Hill deserves a chance to play in Decky's spot. And I thought Hill was fairly bright again when he came on yesterday.
Yeah, he had a bit less time. He only had 5 minutes, but he did definitely help us. Lucas, to be fair, we didn't talk about Lucas. I thought he had a pretty decent half, to be fair. I don't think it was incredible, but he actually did things... Some things actually that I've been calling for him to do. Keep it simple sometimes. For example, that overlapping run by Dyer, he was played in by Lucas, just a simple pass, whereas maybe in other games he wouldn't see the pass and just tried to dribble and into a blind alley. So I think he actually had a pretty good cameo yesterday, Lucas, and he was pretty good. In terms of the 3-5-2 experiment, I never want to see it again. There's always these kind of overreactions when you have a poor performance in a certain formation. Just like when we play 3-4-3 and have poor performance, people say, oh, this 3-4-3 never works, just get rid of it, play 3-5-2. Look, some games 3-5-2 was better formation. Some games 3-4-3 is going to be a better formation. I think like the 3-5-2 yesterday was unnecessary in a game against Bournemouth.
We both said it in pre-match, didn't we, that we wanted to see the 3-4-3.
Yeah, I didn't understand why we played it when we were playing against Bournemouth side, who we know were going to give us a majority possession. So you might as well have another attacking player on there. But there will be games where 3-5-2 is better for us, and we and it is better for us to clog up the midfield and get hit teams. I feel like definitely for counter-attacking games, 3-5-2 can be a lot more effective. But again, as I've said before, when you play 3-5-2, sometimes there's actually more there's more emphasis on your wing backs because they're having less support out wide because they're going to be a lot of the time on their own because you're having more players in the centre. And when we're playing Emerson there and we're playing Sessignon there, I don't know if it's the right thing. You know what I mean? And Doherty as well. I don't know if he's right for a 3-5-2.
I got a feeling like for the 3-5-2, we just need an attacking player in that middle, and maybe in a 3-5-2, Decky can play that role as maybe the advanced attacker. Or maybe even Kane. You play Kane there and put Richarlison and Son up top, something like that. I think that could actually work.
Yeah, potentially. That could also be something to think about.
So, I mean, the fact of the matter is like, to move forward, to progress both of these formations, we need better centre backs, better wing backs, and another attacking or a creative midfielder in it. I think once we get that, we're going to be a proper force, but it's going to look a bit like
disjointed at the moment. That's it, and you're gonna, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. And I think, to be fair, Conte, as much as he's got, like, look, the squad we have is not terrible, but it's not, but like the squad that we have, I think he's doing great to getting the results that we've been getting so far, and performances could be better, but I don't think I'd see it how anyone thinks that anyone could be getting better results with these. Maybe you could argue different managers might be able to get different performances, but I don't see any manager getting better results right now than Conte is getting with this team.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. But let's go on to the guests now.
Just a quick update. Arsenal are playing at the moment. 33 minutes gone. They are 1-0 up, but some bad news as Saka has gone off injured in that first half. Whether he's pulled a muscle or something, I don't know. But they are 1-0 up and dominating. But an injury to Saka, and let's see if it's a muscle injury. We all know they overplay him a lot, so if he has got a muscle injury, he might be out until maybe that'll affect the World Cup. I don't know.
Could do.
Interesting.
Who knows? But let's move on and let's get the Daigle on. Yes, Brian, how's it going, my man?
People are changing my name to Daigle or the Daigle. I'm loving it. How are you both?
Yeah, all good, my brother. And you?
Big up, Brian.
All good, mate. All good. Taylor 2 halves. First half, I was about to go absolutely apoplectic. Second half, nice and chilled.
I'm sure you were going apoplectic 3 minutes into the second half, Brian.
Oh, mate. Let's just say people that were receiving voice notes could have put their phone on mute and they still would have heard me. I was shouting and screaming and going mad, but it was again, we can see in this team we've got a lot of steel, we've got a lot of fight, we've got a lot of drive and determination to get the job done, but we shouldn't be putting ourselves in this position to get the job done. That's the worrying thing, isn't it?
Yeah. We should never be in a position where we're 2-0 down to Bournemouth, should we, Brian? That's obviously the frustrating part of yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to? Do you say it's just because the changes that were made? Is it a case of Tottenham carrying on trends that we've seen this season? Why do you think we were in a situation where we were 2-0 down before we obviously made the comeback?
Do you know what? I said it when I came on the fan show yesterday. I don't get it. It's like under Pochettino, we had this mentality where we got the games blown out of sight by half time and could come out in the second half and relax. And now it's like vice versa. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the changing of formations that I wanted to see. I'm a culprit. I wanted 3-5-2, but I don't think it's worked as well as I thought it would. Brian Hill, who I thought would have made a difference, there seems to be a reluctance to give him a game. And I have to. Did you see Ali Gold's tweet at half time?
No, what did he say?
When Ali Gold said, if only Spurs had bought a fast, pacey right wing back who had played against Bournemouth last season to try and break them down, as he's had experience with them. Words to that effect. Having a pot, obviously not playing Jed Spence. I don't know what we got to do to see this guy or Brian Hill when we've had so much lack of creativity, so negative going forward. Why don't we try a couple of people? Maybe not at the same time. One of them, at least from the start, to at least give us a bit of oomph to try and drive at the first half, because it's happened all season and everyone's going, yeah, but we haven't clicked yet, and that's getting a bit frustrating. Now we're practically in November, aren't we?
Yeah, but we did make lots of changes yesterday. Obviously, Sanchez came in, Skip and Basuma came in. So you can argue maybe like Sessegnon came in on the wing back. Was it made? Were the changes affecting maybe how disjointed we were? Because once we got Dyer and Bentancur on, we did definitely settle down, didn't we?
I think we changed. I can't believe the levels this man has gone up this month in Bentancur. We knew we had a good player on our hand, but this month something has clicked with him. Whereas you see people that we talk about, not just with Tottenham, but with everyone, saving themselves for the World Cup, so to speak. This guy's gone, right, the World Cup's coming, I need to elevate, and has just gone and put in some outstanding performances. I think what he's showing is how important he is to the squad as well now. We've seen with Kulusevski how important he is. I think Bentancur is showing just how vital he is. As for Basuma, mate, I think, as Jose Mourinho once said, I think we signed Basuma's brother. Hopefully, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Basuma will come good. There is absolutely no doubt in it whatsoever. But we're saying that he can't play in this style. We've heard it. He can't play this style of play. He's trying to get him to adapt to his way. I think what we need to do is maybe let Basuma be Basuma. That's why we bought him. We bought him for the attributes he's got. We're kind of trying to restrain him and get him to play something else. Maybe let him off the leash. Maybe let him off the leash a bit and let him do what he does. But when he comes on for a second half, he's really showing what he can do. But when he gets the chances to start, he really isn't, is he?
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm not sure what the why that is at the moment. It's a bit difficult to put your finger on why we're seeing. Like, it's not. I don't think he's been a disaster, but it's just a bit meh, isn't it? It's just like nothing special. Yeah. Whereas Brighton, he did look like he was something special, didn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, whenever we talk about what he did at Brighton, we see what he did to Harry Kane. That's the potential. Well, when you say you had Harry Kane in your back pocket, that is a huge, huge thing to put on your CV. Keeping that man quiet for as long as he did and as well as he did at home when we're going for top four. But we just haven't seen it, have we? We just have not seen it. And I think another thing that doesn't help is that the defence needs open heart surgery. It needs. My God, it's. I mean, Sanchez, who I've tried to defend, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. There's just big issues. I saw people saying it in the chat as well about they'd take Skriniar now over Bastoni, like in January. So would I in a heartbeat right now.
Skriniar might be about to sign a contract for Inter, I think, at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful news. Wonderful news. Just what we need to hear. But yeah, I think, and I said this, I think people are talking about how much we spend or what we spend in January. If we go and sign a centre-back of that ilk, like an Emmanuel Vidic, and that was the only signing, I'd be happy. I would be, yes, we need more, but I don't want to see these kind of bit part players. I want someone that comes in straight into that first team, no question, no hesitance, and can actually have an immediate impact. So if we were to spend all our money on a rock-hard centre-back that will just literally be like a Vidic, like that kind of player, as opposed to get a centre-back that costs a bit, get a right-wing back that might cost a bit, and a create. I'd rather, if we just went and bought a real big player or a great player in that position, and that was it, I would put my hands up and say, you know what, well done. Because you actually identified. Go on.
No, what are you going to say?
No, I was just about to say, if we do that, then you can actually say we have identified a position and solved the problem without trying to find cheap alternatives or the one that may come good. We need to get one that is good to walk in. And I think that will have a huge impact, whether it be a centre-back, a right-wing back, or a creative midfielder. But for me, it's a centre-back.
What do you make out of the words from David Ornstein today, claiming that Conte is unlikely to sign a contract and probably until the end of the season as he waits to get assurances, or not assurances, as he waits to see for himself if he thinks he's going to get backed by the board and if Spurs can actually be competitive at the top end of the pitch. What would you think about that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Do you know what? This is like cat and mouse, isn't it? It's like Conte wants to seek that there are assurances to see that he's got the money and he can get what he wants before signing. And Levy wants him to sign to guarantee that he'll be there so he can so-called have the money to do things. It really is a big cat and mouse situation that needs to be cleared up. But I think if this is true and he's waiting nearer the end of the season, or even after the season, then I think January is going to be very disappointing. I really do, because I can't. Do you remember when we had this with that? This happened with Harry Redknapp, didn't it? When England came up and everything was up in the air, and we wanted players, and then we didn't get the players we needed. Obviously, he left because of the England talk, and and for me, Harry Redknapp rightly was fired coming out against the club and just shooting his mouth off the way he did. But yeah, I think we are in a real cat and mouse situation, and I don't know. I can't see who wins out of it. I don't think Tottenham Hotspur win out of it, because you've got a manager that wants money to say, right, I can trust you, I'm going to commit. But then you've got a chairman that said, commit to me, and then I can show you. And if we look at it on past history, we know that formula hasn't worked.
Yeah, but the fact of the
So-
matter is, it shouldn't really affect what we're going to do in January, because Fabio Paratici's still going to be here for the long term, and he's the one supposed to be heading up the recruitment and stuff like that. So I don't think it should affect it in January.
Ben, I'm with you. It shouldn't, but I think that's the way that this is going to play out. What I will say is Paratici has been doing his job. Whether people think it's good or bad is up for debate. But you're right, he's having a bigger say on transfers now, isn't he? And he's got more of a footprint on it. But again, the players he's bringing in, who's he bringing them in for? Is he bringing them in for Conte? Or is he bringing in for who could be manager number 15, 16, whatever? We just never know. That's the thing. We just never know. Like we said before, Ben and Tim, when we're buying these ones for the future with the current manager, that manager rarely gets to see them in the future because he's not there by hook or by crook. So this contract, I think, do you know what, as well, with the World Cup, I think there's going to be a lot more coverage on it, isn't it? When Spurs media have got nothing else to say, that these kind of rumours are going to come up left, right and centre. And there's going to be a lot of media talk, whether it be this, because you've also got to think as well, when you're talking about this contract for him, how does it affect Kane? What's Kane's stance on this? Because he's going to be entering the last year of his contract that summer. And it's like, okay, if Conte is signed, then I honestly think Conte signs, Kane signs, rather than Kane signs, Conte signs, if you know what I mean. I think getting Conte...
Completely agree.
I think Conte is the most important one to get done. Because, look, Harry Kane has had he's had his targets every year that's asked of him. He hits them. And then all he asks in return is to be backed. And then we see. But I honestly think we need to get Conte wrapped up as quickly as possible. And having it at the end of the season is just going to put more petrol on the fire, more rumours like this. And the pressure's just going to get rammed up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So I guess the only thing we can do as fans just wait and see what's happening. Sim's going a bit nuts here. I think Forest have nearly scored a couple of goals.
A couple of times they've gone very, very close, Nottingham Forest, but they just haven't got on the end of it. But Forest looking, they're getting it back into this game. It's been all Arsenal
having another poor showing.
They weren't for half an hour, but I don't know what's just happened. They just sent him off.
Sim, let me just ask you a question.
Gibbs White.
Oh, no, yellow
card.
Oh, thank God. I do like it. Let me ask you a question. Taking my Tottenham hat off and my England hat on, how bad did Saka's injury look?
Someone in the comments saying apparently he twisted his ankle. So maybe it doesn't look great for him. Look, he walked off, to be fair. But it didn't look... People are saying it didn't look too completely great.
Let's just hope he misses Arsenal. When it comes to England, you know he's going to be in the team. You know he can do something, as much as I hate to say it. So we'll see. But
Granit Xhaka's now down, looking like he's got a bit of a bad injury. It wasn't
a great challenge from Gibbs White, to be fair. He doesn't look like in a good situation, Granit Xhaka. So he might be going off as well. We have to wait and see.
So let me take
Forest have gone very close a couple of times.
Let me take my England hat off and my Tottenham hat back on and say, ha, with Xhaka. So yeah, but yeah, like we said, going back to that game. Listen, we got the job done. Now it's down to you two going over on Tuesday.
It doesn't look like it.
No.
Okay, well that game is now massive, isn't it? And whether do you reckon he dropped players yesterday or he was resting them for Tuesday?
I think he had one eye on Tuesday.
100%. There's not even a debate. He said it himself.
Oh, I didn't know that. He actually came out and said it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that puts my question right out of jogging, doesn't it? Forget I asked that question. But yeah, let's just hope we win Tuesday, beat Liverpool, and then I will see you in England.
Awesome.
Nice one, Brian. Looking forward, mate.
Brian, looking forward to seeing you, and we'll speak to you soon.
Boys. You certainly will. Have a good day, and I'm off to spend the rest of the day with Alana, and it's her birthday tomorrow, so I will be with Alana most of the day and making up for not seeing her for 6 months very shortly. So
I thought you were about to say, I'm just going to listen to Who Let the Dogs Out.
I thought you were about to say that as well.
No. There's someone in the background that might ask that or answer that. But yeah, but guys and everyone in the chat, have a great day. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you all later.
Nice one,
and as always, Levy
Come on, you
out.
Spurs.
Good to see you, Brian.
All right, let's move on. Who have we got on next? Oh, Jesus Christ. What have we got here? What have we got
werewolf.
here?
Is that a werewolf?
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking from the dark. Oh my God, it's
Kyle!
KPV. No way.
I don't know which face is scarier. I don't know what face is scarier, Kyle.
Oh my God, I thought Brian.
Nice to see you, Kyle. Were you dressing up for Halloween yesterday?
It's Halloween tomorrow, mate. Not today.
All right. But people were going out yesterday for Halloween.
No, I didn't go out, man. I only went out to get something to eat and watch Leeds beat the crap out of Liverpool. And so that's two things to make me happy. Got the win against Bournemouth, and Paul Robertson must be delighted his old club Leeds beat the hell out of Liverpool. So thank you.
Who was your man of the match yesterday, Kyle?
Is that even a debate? Benteke.
What, Benteke?
No, Benteke. You know, Bentancur. It's what Ellie calls him. Benteke. Bentancur, man. Come on. Yeah.
What is it about Spurs at the moment? Why can't we perform in first half of games?
Oh, man. Shit, first half. We always do this. Maybe it's probably the defence that's letting us down, not the midfield, as Mia said. So, the defence, man. Like, we've got no one to cover Romero. Sanchez ain't good enough. And, yeah, Dyer's not. So, it's the defence that's letting us down in the first half, as always. And, as I just said in the chat, we've now won 3-2 4 times. 4 times. 3-2 is our favourite scoreline.
And how much credit do you give the team for digging deep and hanging in there till the last minute and getting that goal?
Give them huge, 100% credit for hanging in there, getting the winner in stoppage time, and that's what I have to give them. And did anyone see Sonny's celebration? It's on Instagram and it's on Spurs Twitter page.
Yeah, I saw it.
What happened?
Yeah,
just
Sonny's celebration. Yeah. I did see that. Yeah, that was great.
The third, like Brian said, if only the celebration can match his performance. I messaged him on WhatsApp, and I had to agree. But like, he normally scores in this game, and Harry Kane does. But 3-2. I wonder who predicted that. Must have been it's game day. Sean Butler must have been him. Like, I hope you're watching this one. 3-2. Like, whoever predicted that, you're a legend. Whoever predicted. Like, so we got the win yesterday. Now, let's get the job done in 48 hours on Tuesday in Marseille. Like, if I thought you two jabronis were going, but it doesn't look like it.
It does not look like it. I would like to go now, to be fair, but we'll see. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Enjoy the game, but at least you're going to do the watch along. So enjoy watching the game, but I'll be watching. And they actually let 2 goals slip yesterday, Marseille. So
yeah, they were 2-0 up, drew 2-2, didn't they? Away at Strasbourg, I think it was.
Strasbourg, yeah. Like, but they've got some ex-Phil players. Marseille, they've got.
So let's teach them a lesson.
Teach them a lesson. Like, apparently it's the head-to-head. I want to win. I just want to win the group. Then get a good draw, like who we get. But yeah, do not let me down, boys. You've already let me down the last 2 games, but finally got a win. Need to do better in the first half on Tuesday. Like, and apparently there's rumours Kula Sexy might be back.
Yeah, he was going through training on the pitch yesterday at the Vitality, and looks like he's in good nick. So hopefully we're going to see him before the World Cup. Yeah,
and before I go, I just watched your match day vlog against Arsenal in the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium towards the end of last season, and I can see, Ben, you were holding a gimme gimme flag. You were hiding underneath it with us. So I watched it. Make sure you take that when you go, mate. And I will see you all maybe in the new year, because I've not been able to go to other games because I've only been to one. So I will see you all sometime soon. And and as always, Levy, tough. That's the new one.
Levy what?
I don't know.
Levy sucks.
All right. Thank you very much, Carl, for coming on. And we've got next caller. And if you don't know, you better get to know, because it's Mr. Box Office. Take it away.
Honestly, what the hell was that?
We won, Alex, 3-2.
What the hell was that?
3 points.
Honestly, what the hell was that? That was absolute rubbish. Honestly, absolute rubbish. And if you don't know, get to know, because I said it on my channel already. You know what I mean? And so I gave you all the flavour, and that's it. You know what I mean? Can you actually hear me?
I can hear you.
We can hear you. We're listening to every word you're saying, my friend.
Cool. Well, that's all I need to say anyway, because you're going to have to listen loud and proud, and that's it, because I'm going to start talking some facts at the moment about our team.
Go on.
At the end of the day. Honestly,
Alex, just before you start, Alex, just before you start, 69% possession, 23 shots on goal, 7 shots on target, 10 shots off target, 6 block shots, 19 corners. Did we not deserve to win the game yesterday?
I see, Ben, you're playing a lot of FIFA there, bruv. Honestly.
No, I'm not. Nothing to do with FIFA. I was in the
bruv,
stands watching that game yesterday.
Oh boy, I'm watching that, bruv. Honestly, loving that, bruv. You need to take those. You need to put those controls on the floor, bruv. Honestly, I've never heard such absolute rubbish in my life at the end of the day.
Everything I just said is a fact.
You talk about facts, Alex.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let's throw back a question. How many trophies have you won, Bob? How many trophies have you won? Oh, 0! Oh my God!
With you, it's us, we. It's we,
Alex,
not
what
us.
has that got to do? Alex, calm down.
Are you a Spurs fan?
Alex,
It's
what
us.
trophies? What have trophies got to do with the game yesterday? What has trophies got to do with the game yesterday?
Until we start winning trophies, start acting like an elite team. That's when I'll start talking. Start talking.
We're in October.
We're in October.
Win a trophy in October.
We're in October.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, because you're coming with a lot of chest at the moment, bruv. And I'm hearing a lot of Tottenham fans talk a lot of chest at the moment, saying, "Oh, we're winning at the moment."
We are winning.
Bentancur's starting to save us at the moment. Save us at the moment, They're saving us at the moment, Yeah, he is standing up. He is standing up and making himself proud.
Okay, so they're right.
But he's just the Juventus region, right?
But I'll start giving him some credit when we start winning trophies, bruv,
So he gets no credit until he gets the trophy.
Final, if he starts doing this in the final, in the semi-final, that's when I'll start standing up and looking at you, seeing how you're proud, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because at the moment, all I'm hearing is saying, "Oh, we're getting through games at the moment." Yeah, really. Let's play Sanchez.
Alex, can I tell you something? It's not just about the destination; it's about the journey as well. And it's the journey that we're on. It's the beginning of the season. We're in late October. Trophies don't get won until earliest February.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Bob, listen, look at the record. We've come through loads of games before, and look what happened. We flopped. We flopped every single bloody time. And the thing is, though, Sim, that's a bit of a cheeky question, by the way. But I like you, so I don't really mind about saying that.
What was a cheeky question?
That's a cheeky question, by the way. But I like you, so I don't.
What was the cheeky question? What was
the question?
The cheeky question: are you a Tottenham fan, Bob? Because my money proves that I'm a Tottenham fan, Bob. That's all I need to say, Bob.
No, but the reason I asked that, Alex, is because you said how many trophies have you won? You didn't say have we won. You didn't say we. You said you. You didn't say we.
Yeah, but I said how many trophies have we won?
You didn't say we. You said you. You said you. That's my point. That's why I asked.
How many trophies have we won? That's the thing. Because you keep on throwing at me about statistics, and I'll just say to you, how many trophies have we won? None. That's the thing. So
we can't give any. We can't say we played well in any game until we win a trophy.
But Bob, this is the thing that we get thrown at every single time by rivals, though. You know what I mean? We can't talk to Manchester United. We can't talk to Liverpool. We can't talk to Arsenal. We can't talk to Chelsea. We can't talk to Liverpool because we don't win trophies. We don't win trophies.
What has that got to do with anything right now? We're talking about the game yesterday.
Yeah, we're talking about the game.
2-0 down and we won the 3-2.
We're talking about the game. We're talking about the game. No, because now you get me. Now you get Mr. Box Office loud now. Really loud now, Bob. Yeah? Now you get me really loud now. What you telling talk to me about saying to me all this stuff, and saying to me that about all this. Why do we keep Popshin? Why do we keep Popshin? Because he was doing stuff. I
would have kept him, but that's beside the point.
Popshin, isn't it? We want
that's by the by.
That's by the by. So if this is happening at the end of the season and we've won trophies, we've won trophies. Rather than talking about turnovers, about leaving turnovers, because that's all I hear for Tottenham fans is turnovers. Right. That's all I want to see. You know what I mean? That's all I want to see. And that's
Alex,
it. Yeah?
Alex, just answer this question. Just answer this question, and don't dance around the question. Can we give the team credit for winning and playing well in a game without winning a trophy?
No.
Why not?
No, because that is the wrong mentality, bruv. That's not worked. It's not worked for Arsenal. It's not worked for Manchester United. So why is it going to work for Tottenham, bruv?
What hasn't?
What do you mean it hasn't worked? What does that mean?
Okay, let's do a history lesson then. Okay, Manchester United got fourth every single time under Solskjaer. Yeah, look what happened. They've gone downhill and then they've had to get back to get a manager and get back up again. Arsenal got fourth every single season with Arsene Wenger after they won after they were unbeaten for a year. Yeah, right. Look what happened. They only won FA Cups, went downhill. Now they're in the mud, and now they're coming back up again. Now they're top of the table. It does not work. It never has worked. It's about trophies. I'm 100% about trophies. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm going off a little bit of a tangent at the moment, but maybe this is what you wanted to have from Mr. Box Office, showing us a little bit of passion, a little bit of oomph. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do, and that's what I do every single time I'm on the stream. But like I said, I'm sorry, I'm all about the trophies, yeah, and it's excuses. It's excuses about saying that we're missing Kulu, because I'm sorry, that's saying that we're a one-man team. We are a one-man team then if you're saying that we're missing Kulu, yeah? Right? And like I said, if you're missing Harry Kane and Son, well, that's a problem with the whole squad then, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. It's excuses.
Alex, if you were in the stands yesterday, would you have celebrated when Bentancur scored?
Yes, I would have celebrated.
But why?
But
There's
at
no
the same
trophy.
time,
It's no trophy. Why would you celebrate?
yeah, but at the end of the day, it's about that moment, isn't it? I'll be clapping.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about.
I'll be clapping, but at the same time, and I'm going to leave it there because I know you want to move it on, because I have to just move it on my channel or something like that. You know what I mean? Because obviously people can't take the truth. But what I'm saying
What
is...
truth?
Okay. The truth is we're a bang average team sim. We are a bang average team sim. We are a bang average team.
Okay, fair enough. You can have that. That's fine. But the bang average teams can win trophies.
But if you're talking about a elite team, yeah? Right, that's
Okay.
Manchester City at the moment, bro. The only reason why we're third in the table at the moment, yeah, is because Liverpool are having a bad day. Chelsea are flopping because they're still getting back up again. Yeah, Manchester United are still rebuilding. Right, Leicester City don't know what's going on at the moment, what day it is. You've got West Ham who are still trying to sort themselves out. So that's how many teams now, and then you've got Arteta at the top of the table at the moment, which is embarrassing because we should be better than them all day long because we've got two good strikers, I've been told. Yeah, so that's reality. That is absolute reality. And yes, I'll get people telling me I'm big Mr. Negative. Well, bruv, I've got my channel every single day, bruv, so I'm talking every single time, bruv. So you can take every single day. You can try me every single day, bruv. And that's not having a go at you guys. Everybody in the chat, everybody has a go at me. You know what I mean? So sorry, I'm not having it. So I'll just leave it there, man. If you don't know, get to know, man. Alex D, it's just see. If you don't know, get to know. I'm out of it, bruv. Mr. Box is out the building.
Oh. And he's just gone.
Pick up Alex. Jesus. That was...
All right. Didn't expect it to get that fiery. I mean, I just don't understand why he can't talk about the game. He has to come on... I don't know. Why? I don't know.
If you don't know, get to know.
Fair enough.
We got a super chat here from Arpo Kumar, and he says Bentancur and Kulusevski for a combined 70 million is up there with the best transfer business ever. Would you say best transfer business ever? Them two for 70 million?
I wouldn't say it's the best, but he said up there. And I think, to be fair, what's their value now? Like 70 million. I would say Bentancur's probably like a 50 million pound player now. Kulusevski probably a bit more. He's probably like 70. So if we wanted to sell them, make a big profit, that's for sure.
Most definitely. Probably at least double the money, at least. But let's go on to our next guest, host of our watch-along yesterday, Mr. Barry, Shelfside Spurs Show.
Come on,
How
Barry.
you doing, Barry?
Well, my head hurts after listening to Alex.
He's just recovering.
If you don't know, get to know.
Look, he likes to say that everyone talks waffle, bruv, but I think he was talking absolute waffle for
Barry,
the last.
here's the question:
God,
can
mate.
you celebrate a victory if it doesn't lead to a trophy?
Correct. Of course you can.
Fair enough.
Why can you not celebrate? Me and Rez were celebrating yesterday. We thought we were gonna, we thought we were on the back of a pasting, but look, it turned round yesterday, and look, we thoroughly deserved to win that game. All those people saying we're playing negative football and everything else, 60, like you said, 69% possession, 23 shots or whatever, 19 corners. That's a far throw away from where. Okay, it's only Bournemouth, but it's better than what we've been playing the last few weeks.
Watching it, obviously we were at the stadium, but watching it in the studio and watching it on TV, did you feel like that goal was coming, that last goal, or were you resigned to maybe dropping points in this one?
Look, I think the power of the people, the power of the viewers did it yesterday. 4,000 people on the watch along, 2,500 likes. That's what got us the goal yesterday. I think there would have been times when we would have thought we wouldn't have come back, and we would have just, it would have been 3-1 maybe, or 2-1, and we would have just sat back. But after what happened on Wednesday in the week, we had that drive, and I don't know what it is, right? We keep wasting 60 minutes of football every game, but whatever happened, we came back. Obviously, we made the changes. Bentancur was different gravy, really, yesterday. He's really, and it also showed that Højbjerg looks lost kind of without him. Højbjerg in the first half was, with Basuma and Skip the other side of him was. It was very unfamiliar, and he look when Bentancur came on it, and Perisic, and it completely changed the game.
Yeah, talk to me about Bissouma. A lot of fans talking about, he hasn't really got to grips with life at Spurs yet, which obviously I agree with. What did you think of his performance yesterday?
It's disappointing. He kind of, he's kind of gone from having a good kind of cameo when we came on, and obviously against Leicester, and we kind of ran out winners in there, and then the Man United game yesterday, it's kind of just I don't know, it's just it's a bit like, I don't know whether someone said it on the fan show, or it's like Basuma's brothers signed for us, like Jose, like Jose said about Delhi. This is not the Basuma that we thought we were going to get.
What would you like to see him do more?
I just want to see. I mean, look, I guess him coming in allows Bentancur and Højbjerg to press forward, and we get to see more of both of them. But I'd like to see him really kind of take control and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Again, yesterday his first touch was poor. He was losing the ball. I guess what we're seeing at the moment is we're seeing the negatives. We're not seeing the kind of positives, and what it's allowing Højbjerg and Bentancur to do. So, in a way, all we're focusing on is his poor first touch, not having a great impact on the game. Whereas, obviously, Højbjerg, Bentancur are scoring, but maybe because he's there, it's allowing them to do that more than what they would have done before.
Yeah. That's made well. They don't really seem to do it. They can do it even when he's not on the pitch, though, can't they? Like, that sort of seems to be happening all the time. In terms of overall the performance, obviously it took a lot of character to get back from 2-0 down to beat Bournemouth 3-2. But is there still the performance level worrying you, or do you think or is it a case of on Wednesday night against Lisbon, second half we dominated possession, created loads of chances, should have won that game, and a very similar thing happened yesterday. So are you more encouraged by what you're seeing on the pitch, or are you still a bit concerned by maybe the level of performance?
I think until we get to the World Cup, this is what we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see us flying out of the blocks. The last two games, we could have just sat in front of the first half with the watch along and talked about something completely different, and we wouldn't have missed anything. And that's concerning. How, and then you've got Hugo that comes out with, it's a lot of games so close together. It's hard to play the way that we want to play. look, I'm still exhausted from yesterday, right? Because again, it's 45 minutes where we're getting, and you guys were both there, so it must have, you must have been put through it watching it.
Yeah.
I just want to see us. I just want to, for Tuesday and Sunday for Liverpool. If we come out like we finished the last two games against Liverpool and Marseille, we beat them and we beat them comfortably. And the way that Liverpool got taken apart yesterday by Leeds, keeping attacking. If we do that, I'm not going to say we batter them because then Alex will say, "Oh, well, these fans are talking waffle and everything else." But we're going to get a good result. But it does. The performances are just. I don't know. I don't see it changing between now and it's only 2 weeks left before the World Cup, or not even that, 12 days. I don't see it changing between now and then.
Yeah, and last thing before I let you go, there's been a report from David Ornstein about Conte. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but So what's your thoughts on it? Is that concerning?
Not really. I think he wants to know if he's going to be backed. And like you said, it's kind of a cat and mouse situation, right? And we've been in this situation before. Conte is not stupid. Conte knows that if he signs... Look, I mean, you could argue, you could say to Conte, sign, because if it all goes pear-shaped, then you're going to get a nice payoff, like all the other managers before, right? So you could say that. But I don't think that he's the type of person that wants to commit. We've seen the passion, and I think the one thing we don't want to kill is the passion in Conte. You saw him obviously getting sent off on Wednesday night, rightly or wrongly, for what he did. That's the passion that we need him and the players to take like 20% of that passion, and I don't think you kill it. So it could be an easy one where you just say, I'll just sign a 5-year contract, 20 million a year or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And then think, well, actually, it doesn't really matter. But I think, and I hope, that Conte wants to prove everyone wrong, right? He doesn't want to be at a club 2 to 3 years. He doesn't want to just win something, then something happens and then he leaves. I'd really like him to think that, and everyone else to say, look, he will stick with the project. And because look, if he stays the length of time that Pep and Klopp have stayed with Liverpool, Man City, then we're going to win a lot of things. I firmly believe that, and that's maybe Conte knows that as well. But yeah, it's look. I think any manager would be mindful to say, if Levy comes and says, or the board come and say, I'm going to back you, are you going to take that with a pinch of salt after what's happened with, Mourinho, with Poch, with everyone else? You're probably going to sit there and go, well, we've seen this before. So, but look, it's cat and mouse. It's a bit like, going into a transfer, and saying we want X amount, and the other club saying, well, we want this amount, and we think the player's worth this, and it's all a lot of games, I guess, and we'll just have to wait and see how this game plays out, whether it will be manager number 16 or whether it'll be something else, So
I guess we'll have to see. But whilst you've been talking with that, literally since that last question, Arsenal have scored 2 goals. Reece Nelson scoring both of them, which is
he came on for Saka, right?
Yeah, 2 assists for Jesus and 2 goals for Reece Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
So
poor from Forest as well.
Arsenal, that's game, set and match to Arsenal now. But Barry, great job on the watch along once again yesterday, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, boys. Big up, everyone. Big up, Sammy in the back. Come on.
Nice one, Barry.
Even Sammy gets a shout out. A super chat here from Aprav again saying, Hill is such a breath of fresh air, although a bit sad that Hill just doing the basic things correctly is still makes us look so much better. Rishi Lucas just can't play on the right wing.
I kind of agree with that thing that Hill doing basic things decently, like all of a sudden makes him like this breath of fresh air. I kind of agree with that. Is he? I don't know. I don't think he's better than Richarlison as much. I don't think Richarlison's great in that position. I actually still think he's better than Hill. But yeah, I would like to see Hill get a go over Lucas on the right wing for more time, in my opinion.
All right.
He doesn't seem to trust him, does he, Conte?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But I think that draws a close to the stream today. But keep an eye on the channel because player ratings and 5 takeaways coming your way later today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you
Come on, you
Spurs.
Spurs.